followed by Senator Coyle. Thank you, Minister. Thank you to the whole team that is very used to our committee. Welcome once again before us. First of all, Minister, I wish to salute you for your various recent trips to Africa. We hadn't seen this for quite some time. I also salute the appointment of your first observer at the African Union. We're hoping that this will mark a change with regard to our presence on that continent, because the African Union represents 55 states, the 55 member states of that organization, that Pan-African organization. My question pertains to staff working locally recruited staff for our embassies throughout the world. I'm delighted to hear that the number one priority in your plan is people. And we know the role played by locally engaged staff in embassies. These locally engaged staff represent 80% of our workforce in our embassies. And these individuals are to some extent the very fiber of our embassies. They're very aware of the local context. They know the language, etc. They're the backbone of our services, and these individuals know that they have quite a precarious status. Their status isn't the same as that of staff sent from Canada. We've seen reports outlining racism issues, etc. In your outline today, you've talked about improvements. How do you plan on improving the effectiveness of these locally engaged staff? You have 2 minutes to respond, Minister. Thank you very much. Thank you, Senator, for your question. It's an excellent one, because we have had to manage the impact of our traditional approach at GAC vis-a-vis locally engaged staff when the time came to evacuate people from Kyiv in the first days of the illegal invasion by Russia, and also in Sudan. So we decided to adopt a new approach. In essence, it was to give the choice, the opportunity to locally engaged staff of leaving the country. It wasn't the case prior to that. Normally, GAC had a different relationship with this staff, and it's not the same relationship as for diplomats. The duty of care doesn't technically apply to locally engaged staff. And I decided that we were going to change this approach in situations of crisis, and this is why we evacuated those members of our staff in those situations. With regard to the precariousness of their employment, this is one of the issues that we've identified. We're going to be working on this. There are very innovative ideas that we're looking at. We're looking at what the U.S. and other countries are doing, namely in Europe, with regard to the ability for these people to come to Canada to work. And we also want to ensure that we're able to offer them benefits and salaries that are appropriate. So this is certainly something that my Deputy Minister, David Morrison, is going to look at more closely in his work. Finally, what I could tell you is that when I met with Ukrainians who were evacuated and Sudanese who were evacuated, be it when I was in Poland or in Kenya, for both situations, I believe that their reaction was extremely positive. And this is part of a new philosophy, a new approach that we're putting in place such that any human being working for us must be never taken for granted and well supported. Thank you very much, Minister.